Hey there, I'm Greg Finn,
And I'm Christine Zernheld,
aka Shep,
and it is officially Marketing O'Clock.
here on November 8th, 2019.
Remember, you can catch our famous Friday news shows each and every Friday morning,
We read all the news,
so you don't have to.
and today's news is brought to you by our favorite, t-shirt.searchenginejournal.com. If you aren't looking as sharp as your SEO, your digital marketing skills are, we can help. Head on over to t-shirt.searchenginejournal.com, and there is a wide selection of SEO themed shirts for you. You can talk about keywords, page speed, schema, backlinks, or you can just go straight metal with a Kiss flavored Lynx shirt, or Ramon style if you're more punk rock with SEO's Not Dead shirt.
You got to look good to work good.
You have to. And Search Engine Journal is here to help you. So if you're looking for some shirts, head over to t-shirt.searchenginejournal.com, and they even have the vintage Space Invaders for you. So regardless of your musical tastes, they've got a shirt for you. Shep, what's up first in the news here this week?
First up in the news this week, Christmas came early. We have a new ad placement alert for shopping ads in Google Ads.
Hang on, let me change my calendar. Christmas on, November 8th. Got it.
Christmas for advertisers.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Google announced that shopping ads will now display on the YouTube home feed and search results. Ads will be tailored to the interests of individual users. On mobile, there will be a carousel of suggested products between videos on the homepage or at the top of search results. Your shopping ads will be eligible for this placement along with the Google Discover placement if you select the YouTube Discover on display network option in your campaign network settings. So if you want your ads to show on YouTube, they're going to show on Discover too. It's all one option that you click in addition to the search results.
I like the fact that you have to be opted into this, where it's not for everybody. You have the choice to be on either YouTube and Discover, but it's still your choice. That's nice.
And that's another thing we should tell our listeners. If you don't want to be on YouTube, you should probably check and make sure Google didn't press the button for you and opt you in.
Yep, great point, Shep. Double check everything, especially anything new like this where there is possibility for error. All right, and next up, Bing has announced new link penalties. These link penalties are focused on taking down PBNs, subdomain leasing, and manipulative cross-site linking. Thankfully, they aren't going after PBRs, the PBA, or PBS. They're only going after PBNs. And in case you didn't know, a PBN is a private blog network. So I'm going to break down what they're going after and then relating to why they are in IRL terms, because it all makes sense if you think about it in real life. Like, nobody would do these things in real life. So the first thing are those PBNs, or private blog networks. So instead of going out and making great link-worthy content, it's going to go get links on its own and taking that and promoting it. If you have a private blog network, you just make blogs, as many blogs as you can, and just link all over.
That doesn't sound like a great site.
Right. So you actually register the domain, or somebody else does, and you sign up for their private blog network. They spin a blog up, and then all of a sudden you're looking for links, and you get links from all these different blogs in the same network. So let's say that this is real life now, and I'm dealing art. I'm an artist, an artiste, some say. So instead of going out and making a piece of art that's impeccable, that is amazing, that rocks, it gets tons of exposure, gets all the critics buzzing about it. Let's say I make a piece of art, and then I go and I create fake critic sites, and I give myself all good reviews from a fake critic. That looks fishy. That looks spammy, and that's why you shouldn't do it. So that is a great thing that Bing is targeting. Next up, subdomain leasing. And we talked about this with Google a while back, that they are targeting this. Danny had shown some examples of ways that you can't do that and ways Google can detect that. Danny Sullivan over at Google. So next is subdomain leasing. And this is where you lease a subdomain to try to harness the overall domain authority. So you might want to say, oh, I'm going to make an offers page. I'm going to set up offers.marketingoclock.com and try to hop on the back of the awesomeness that is marketingoclock.com. Google's been cracking down on this. Danny had a few posts, Danny Sullivan over at Google, as to how Google is trying to stop this. But Bing is now. And a good example of why this doesn't make sense is, let's say, go back to that art example. So let's say instead of going out and just going full Bob Ross on a canvas, you instead make something less quality or whatever. You don't really try too hard. And then you slap Jackson Pollock's name on it. But everybody knows it's not a Jackson Pollock. That is similar, right? So it doesn't make sense to be able to just barnacle onto some other URL like that. So you can see why Bing is cutting down on that. And next up is cross-site linking. And this is kind of similar to private blog networks, but instead of everything pointing one direction, it's almost like a link wheel where you're linking, every site is linking to the other, and it's like this big kind of network of links, cross-site links. It's a good name for it. So again, in real life, I'm that artist, and I find 5 other artists, and I make a painting, and I sell it to the artist to the right of me, and I buy a painting from the artist from the left, all for the same price, roughly the same type of art. It doesn't make sense that you just keep on passing that art around, and nobody actually makes any money. The links are all just going around. The art's all going around. Nobody's actually benefiting from this. So I love the fact that they announced this and the clarity that they gave. Frederick Debut from Bing, I hope I got that right. My French is not as good as it should be.
Sounds convincing to me.
Okay. Well, he answered some questions over on Twitter, and we'll link to it in the show notes. So it was a good thread, and there were some real answers on there. And one that I thought was a pretty high visibility one was coupons.huffpost.com, where they integrated Groupon with Huffington Post to try to benefit mutually. And there's a good discussion on there, and they were very open with some of those answers as to, is it helping the users, so on and so forth. So check that out in our show notes if you want more about this. But overall, kudos, Bing. These changes seem good, unless you're one of those shisty art folks that we talked about earlier.
Thanks for joining us for Art O'Clock. And next in the news, the FTC has released guidance for how influencers should disclose ads on social media. They released a new infographic called Disclosure 101 for social media influencers, and it's actually really well done. It's a great infographic, and they call it a brochure, which I think is pretty funny. Like, it's for influencers. Just call it an infographic.
They probably would have got roasted if they called it an infographic.
It's like, what is this, 1935?
But if they call it an infographic, they'd be like, well, look at the FTC. They have to cater to these influencers.
The word brochure gives me hives.
Hives, wow.
I just hate paper.
Well, this is a digital paper.
Yeah, that's
Think about
great.
it that way.
So first, they define what an endorsement is, and they say it's a material connection including personal, family, or employment relationship or a financial relationship, such as the brand paying you or giving you free or discounted products or services. So that's a little different. Diet Coke could just send me a can of Diet Coke for free, and I'm supposed to disclose it to all of my thousands of followers on business Twitter.
It's also a discounted? What if you are reviewing something and you just had a discount
that you got from another influencer?
Yeah, does that count?
Supposedly, according to
Or
this.
does it have to come directly from them?
I should say, at the beginning of this whole thing, they say this is not a law. They're guidelines.
Oh, okay. So go on with the discount. You clip those coupons, folks. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, but
influencers out. No influencer actually clips coupons, so let's be honest.
No, they don't like paper, just like me. So anytime one of these relationships exists, they want you to disclose the relationship, and they break down specifics of how you should do that. So they say place it so it's hard to miss, not in your bio or landing page, but in the endorsement message itself, so probably the caption. Don't mix your disclosure into a group of hashtags or links, so you're not just supposed to hashtag ad. If your endorsement is in a story, superimpose the message over the photo.
What?
Yeah, so
over the entire photo?
I'm thinking like when you have a video on your Instagram story and you add text overlay, you just have to put advertisement.
Oh, okay.
If the ad is a video, they say you should have that included in the audio and the video itself, not just the description. If the ad is a live stream, you should disclose that it's an ad throughout, which would be so annoying if you're like, what?
Yeah.
By the way, it's been another minute. I just have to remind you guys, hey guys, great to see you. This is an endorsement. And then They say to use clear and simple language saying, thanks for the Diet Coke, free can is fine. But if you're putting words like ad or sponsor, that's also fine. But if you use vague terms like ambassador or SP, that's not okay. I think ambassador is pretty clear.
I think SP is too, sponsored post.
It is to us, but they got to draw the line somewhere.
All right.
I think they should draw the line between ambassador and SP, if you ask me.
You know what would be better than this infographic? I know you like infographics. I know you hate paper. But you know what would be better way to tell the masses with this?
What?
Is if the FTC hired Kim Kardashian, the influencer of all influencers, and they had her put a big message out to everybody.
That'd be great.
And that's it. No need for the infographic, no need for paper. Kim K has an Instagram story. Everybody's going to see it. Everybody that's going to be an influencer will find it.
I love that. I just think that my tax dollars kind of pay for the FTC, and I think that'd be really expensive.
Well, that was a pretty long infographic.
But it would be effective. So for more information, you can check out our show notes or visit ftc.gov/influencers, which is just crazy that we have a .gov/influencers. Welcome to 2020, people. What else is going on this week?
Well, we have finally loaded up a new Search Console feature that was announced back at Google I/O 2019. The Speed Report. It's here. And it's awesome. I co-signed this report. It's that good. So in order to help site owners, you can now go to Search Console and you can see the Speed Report. It's called experimental because they're still working on it. But it assigns groups of similar URLs into buckets: fast, moderate, and slow. And these buckets are color-coded as well. It's really cool. Color-coded like a stoplight even. So if you're fast, you have green, moderate is yellow, and then slow is red.
That's not the best yellow, though.
No, it's more like a goldenrod.
Yeah.
Goldenrod. Is that what you were going to say?
The crayon color, yeah.
Yeah. And when you look at the example they gave, you can see this site is not fast. There's a lot of goldenrod and what do you call it? Race car red? I don't know what the crayon color is
like
for that.
A rust, maybe?
Rust.
Brick?
Not a lot of forest green in there. So I was like, oh, this is a good example. You can find some easy improvements. Another nice thing, and I was playing around with this tool, obviously for our clients, and you can click on some of those groupings that are in those, let's say, slow or moderate ranges or even fast. And when you open that up, you can hop right into the Page Insights tool. And that will allow you to quickly find out how to fix these. Like, how do we triage this problem and figure it out? So I thought that was fantastic. It's really helpful for all webmasters, not just SEOs. And I think it's something you're seeing with Search Console is not just a tool for SEOs, it's a tool for everybody. And you can see they're really broadening the appeal of this. So great job. I love this all in one spot. You don't have to go into Google Analytics and look at things. You don't have to go manually one by one. This is a fantastic tool. Thanks.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you.
We simply deliver the take for your consumption.
We give no opinions. We don't influence.
You make the call.
And this week's take comes from James Webster at PPC Webster on Twitter. PPC_Webster on Twitter. Forgot the underscore. And James has been doing some shopping campaigns. Here is James's tweet. Has search query quality always been this bad from shopping campaigns? Or is it getting worse? These and many others came through from a dog bed PLA campaign. Quote, fat French bulldog, unquote. How to stop cats pooping on my lawn. #PPC chat.
Fat French Bulldog is an amazing search.
It really is.
I want to make it my home, like my home page.
I like the fact too that this is again a dog bed campaign, and for you folks out there that might not be doing a ton of shopping campaigns, you don't have the option of choosing your keywords. You can just negative terms out specifically. But the fact that this dog bed matched cats pooping on my
It's
lawn.
not even a dog.
Wait, let me check. Yeah, you're right. A cat's not a dog. It's a totally different phylum.
Cats don't sleep in beds, right?
I don't think.
We don't have the cat.
I think
expert
only
here.
human beds. I don't think. I think
Yeah.
they're allergic to cat beds.
I think cats just like disappear in the night.
Yeah.
They don't need a bed.
And then they just bonk you in the face and go back to wherever they came from.
This is insane. Why can't you have keywords? I don't get it. Why don't they just let us have keywords?
It would be nice to have some restrictions.
Yeah.
This is a great take that James has, where you don't want just something as simple as a fat French bulldog. I mean, you might want it for your house, but you don't want it for selling dog beds. And you see this all the time. We have shopping campaigns, and the work you have to do, the calories you have to burn to make shopping campaigns work is unfathomable. And check out this tweet. There's some more conversation. Kirk Williams, formerly on the show here, talked about the fact that he sells dog beds too and has the same problem, which is like, what world are we living in?
So many dog beds.
And
I
then-
just did a quick search for fat French bulldog puppy, and I got my first shopping result is the Blissful Dog French Bulldog unscented nose butter.
Wow, I don't even know what that
is
is.
nose
but
butter?
Wait, nose butter for the dog?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe because they're all so scrunchy, and so maybe
Chewy.com.
maybe those cute little things get booped too many times right in the nose. Need a little butter on there. Anyway, great take, James. Thank you.
Now it's time for this week's lightning round.
Pew, pew.
At this point in the show, we split up our content into two parts, paid and non-paid. First, we'll cover everything to do with advertising, aka paid, and then report on the organic or non-paid.
Here's what's happening in the paid universe this week. First up, Shopify introduced Shopify Email for merchants, which is expected to be available in early 2020. This new app will make it possible for merchants to create and measure email marketing campaigns natively within the Shopify platform. It offers customizable email templates that you can use to import existing brand assets and product content from merchant stores. Emails can be sent from the merchant domain name.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
And one thing, I just want to give a little shout out to Shopify. I traditionally have bought most things on Amazon over, say, the past 2 years. And with Shopify, the interface is so nice. The ability to store some of your credentials, store some of your credit cards, know that you've got a good interface that you can kind of trust from small mom and pop to other mom and pop is fantastic, because people don't know e-commerce and it's really hard. It has been really hard. And the ability for Shopify to make it easy for these small businesses is phenomenal. I bought something this week on Shopify.
That's
I saw it was Shopify. I put in my little code that I've got for my Shopify code. I'm right in, I'm right out, and it's easy. And the fact that you're going to make it easier for people to email, this is something that I can't believe has been overlooked for this long. Catering to these smaller folks and making it easy, and then also making it easier on the customer.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. I love this. Again,
That's really
co-sign this one too. How
I've
about
never even thought to search there. I just don't think about it.
that? Well, I find a site. I'm like, oh, this is something really cool, really interesting, and then I go look and it's Shopify. I'm like, I know I can easily check out here. It's not going to be a problem. I know I'm going to
Yeah.
get my stuff and whatever. So
That's great.
I enjoy it.
Greg Finn endorsed. Also in the news this week, Facebook will start limiting the number of ads a page can run. This is going to take effect mid-2020, they say. To prepare advertisers for the change, they're releasing a new version of their marketing API with an ad volume API, so you can see the volume of ads your account is currently running. And they said they're doing this because, quote, very high ad volume can hinder an advertiser's performance. They don't say what the limit is, and they don't say it's going to be the same for every advertiser, and I don't think it's going to be. They're very vague on here. So I don't know how this new API is really going to help people to prepare for it, because they don't know what the limit is.
Yeah. And one thing I think about all the time is like, does this make sense? And this doesn't make sense, right? Like we were talking about that real life example of all these different schemes that don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hot take here. They're not going to limit the ad spend dollars.
No.
I get it. They're going to say you're spending X amount of dollars and you've got all these ads that aren't actually showing, or you're going to pause these things that aren't showing. That makes sense. But I'll tell you one thing, they're not going to stop you from cleaning out every nickel in your pocket
Yeah.
over to Zuckerberg.
Sorry, you're not allowed to give me any more money.
That's not going to happen.
That just seems crazy. Next up, Uber Eats is gearing up to run ads on its platform. I like this story because it's sort of a piece of investigative journalism. We don't know because Uber announced it. We know because they made a job posting for a group product manager ad lead position.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you want to apply, you should apply. And it seems like they're gearing up to run ads on the platform, which is great. If you're a restaurant in your local community and you want to sell on Uber Eats, I have a recommendation for Uber Eats. I wish these takeout apps would put pictures of the insides of the restaurant.
Like in the kitchen cam.
Oh, I didn't even think of
Yes,
that.
I am with you. We go to these places and I can't eat because it's so dirty. It's so greasy and gross. I want the kitchen
Even
cam.
the front, though. There's places that I would never order takeout, even if I just drove by it, because it looks so dirty.
But why wouldn't you do that? You know, some fancy places, they'll have a big window into the kitchen, or they'll have a window from the outside so you can see everybody cooking. That's what we need, the kitchen cam. I love it. They should get rid of the ads. Get the kitchen cam out there. They'll have actually something different than everybody else out there, than DoorDash and
Yeah.
Grubhub and everything like that.
I would only order from Uber Eats if that was the case. Just a little marketing o'clock advice. Our next source is from yours truly, my business Twitter.
At Shep Zernheld on Twitter.
It's a really great business Twitter follow.
Hey, I know that person.
I have about 40 business associates.
So what did you tweet, Shep?
Okay. So
You were the first person to discover this, and you tweeted it
I
out,
think
so it's
I was.
news. And I put it on here because you created news. How do you? First off, let me interview you quick. How do you feel now that you're an international
it's
newsbreaker?
amazing. I think I gained 2 followers. So now I'm up to 38. I'm just doing, I'm really trying to make it on business Twitter. And I came in, what day was it? November 6th, Wednesday morning. Opened up Ads Editor, and it said I had an update for Google Ads Editor. And I never want to update anything, but for some reason I just did it right away. And I got the notification after it installed that we can now use negative keyword lists, shared negative keyword lists in Google Ads Editor, which has been a huge oversight. I can't believe it took until 2019 for this to happen, but it's finally here. I was very excited. So I broke the news.
All right, you're like a little G. Gordon Liddy over here, breaking
If you
news.
say so. Follow me on business Twitter.
At Shep Zernheld on business Twitter.
And we have more news that broke via Twitter. This time it's from Emma Franks at AKA Emma Louise. She found in her Google Ads account that instead of the disabled, conservative, or aggressive targeting settings for display campaigns, Google has switched to levels. So it's disabled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 is the most aggressive. So I was trying to figure out how she saw this, and I think that this screenshot is from Ads Editor. And you know how they do that scrolly bar?
Yeah.
I don't even know the technical term for it.
No, that's technical. Scrolly bar.
So you could have it all the way to the left for off,
Yep.
or towards the right for aggressive targeting expansion. I think this is just how they visually represent it in Editor, which is so confusing.
It doesn't make sense.
I was in the same campaign. I was online. It had the scrolly bar, and in an Editor, it showed these numbers. That's not consistent. It's very confusing. Just turn it off, people.
Turn it off, disable, get rid of
Disabled.
it. Get rid of everything in this. I've never once had success ever with a let's say the 5 number. I don't even know how to call this now. I guess it would be aggressive.
Take my money.
Take my perfect. You got a new name. You go from disabled to conservative to take my money, the 5.
And that is it for paid news this week. What is going on in non-paid?
All right. First up is an article this week from Quartz. Microsoft is repositioning Bing as a company search engine. And this is from the article, and I'm going to read directly from there. Bing is the underlying mechanism supporting search capabilities for applications like Outlook and Microsoft 365. So rather than trying to compete with Google directly, Microsoft is perhaps wisely shifting Bing from a general purpose engine to one focused on catering to businesses. And I get it, Bing. I get it, Microsoft. Okay, Boomer. This all seems good in theory. But Google has a pretty great drive system too. Like Microsoft 365 isn't a reason to shift your search engine around.
Mm-hmm.
So what the article talks about is it's going to make it easier for enterprise internal search, and there's all these stats about people wasting time searching. This seems smart short term, but a really dumb position long term, because Google stuff is actually better than 365.
Yeah.
One other funny thing from the article I thought is the author says, so who uses Bing today? According to Microsoft, Bing holds 25% of the U.S. search engine market. Other estimates aren't as kind. Globally, the numbers are much smaller, still with Bing holding an estimated 3% share of the market worldwide.
And then I think it said Google had like 95%.
93.
It's crazy.
Crazy. But I like the fact, I was just 22% off. Okay. All right. Next up, Pinterest has launched a refresh of its mobile app. Now, when you go to your Pinterest mobile app, you'll see personalized recommendations. So, Shep, when you hop in there, you're going to see some more disco gear, QVC, fitness recommendations, or maybe some hat rack ideas for your home.
Oh, I
Maybe
love that.
Murder,
I
She
actually
Wrote.
have researched hat racks before. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. I mean, I'm Pinterest here. I harnessed my new inner Pinterest app and figured it out.
Yeah, my husband has over 200 baseball caps, and I was trying to find a way to store them. No thoughts yet. Let me know, Pinterest.
They also have a reorganized navigation menu with search now included in there, which is nice. A new profile design. And so instead of the classic pin board design with user profiles, it's more of a feed of the user's latest pins from all the boards. So check it out on a Pinterest app near you. Next up, the VP of Twitter design shared a list of coming platform features. And guess what, Shep?
What?
None of the features are what we actually want. We want the edit button. Everybody wants the edit button. And that is not one of the features that they've listed. So I'm going to go through quick the features that they listed. 1, remove me from this conversation.
Or are they Taylor Swift?
I don't know what that means.
She said she would very much like to be excluded from this narrative
Oh.
about Kanye West.
Was that when he jumped up on stage?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I'm hip. I want this feature for real life. Remove me from this conversation. Like, what if I just said that?
God, that's
I just bring it to IRL. Hey, remove me from this conversation. Just walk away. All right, number 2, don't allow an RT of this tweet. So you put a tweet out there and you're like, no retweets. None.
Can you still not get retweets if you're private, or do they?
You know what? I'm going to screenshot it. I'm going to retweet it anyway, Twitter. Next up, you don't allow people to mention me without my permission. So when people are like, don't at me, you say something's good, you'd be like, Chick-fil-A sucks. Don't at me.
Now you can really mean it.
Yeah, and like nobody can actually at you now. All right, and then 4th, remove this at mention from this conversation. So if you're having a conversation and some troll hops in and starts trolling off, you could be like, get this at this mention out of the conversation. That one makes sense. And then another one where you can tweet only to a certain hashtag, interest, or specific number of friends. So it's sort of like, I guess, a private Twitter, which it gets super weird. But it's unfortunate that life has come to this where you have to be like, don't at me and don't RT this and remove this mention from the conversation. But it's probably good to stop harassment, I guess. But
Edit would be nice.
yeah, just give me the edit button. That's what we want. Okay. Well, Twitter does have another feature. Breaking news, not the edit button. But Twitter is rolling out topics, a way to follow subjects automatically within the timeline. And Twitter is starting with more than 300 subjects across sports, gaming, and entertainment. The example they gave was you're looking on Twitter and you can automatically follow the Rams. Shep, would you follow the Rams?
No.
Okay.
Who would?
I don't know. I saw that. I'm like, I don't want any Rams news.
I don't even know what city they're in anymore.
I don't think anybody does. No, the LA Rams. They were LA and then went to St. Louis. And then they're like, we made a mistake. We're going back to LA. And then the Chargers were in San Diego. And then they went to LA. And then like, now we're going to London. And then we're like, psych, we're not going to
They're
London.
going
None
to
of it makes sense.
London?
Not anymore. They put a little meme up of the Wolf of Wall Street. And they're staying packed in LA now.
The Rams are building a really cool stadium though, right?
Yes. they
Okay,
are.
that's cool. I guess I'd follow that.
The problem is, well, this isn't a sports podcast here, but there's no actual Rams fans in LA and nobody that really cares about sports in LA. And so they don't ever have like a home field advantage.
Oh, that's so sad.
Well, anyway, if you want information like this and more, you can now follow that on Twitter. So it's sort of like the ability to follow a hashtag on Instagram, which I actually really love. I use it all the time. Following things like you can maybe like follow handmade or something like that. You can see all this cool stuff that people make or like maker, all this different stuff.
Handmade sounds like I thought you were talking about the TV show.
I don't know. Like the Handmaid's Tale? No, I'm talking about people that like make things. I like stuff like that.
Okay, the eye makes all the difference.
So I know I gave you some examples. Do you follow any hashtag? Have you followed any hashtags on Instagram?
I haven't, but I want to now.
It's really cool. I follow people that make all kinds of stuff, and it's really interesting. Next up, Facebook has a new company brand. Before, Facebook used to be Facebook, and now they are Facebook. I guess all caps Facebook. Is that how you pronounce it now?
I guess.
So instead of being lowercase Facebook, it's uppercase, and they show that it can work with any of the gradients that they use. And you'll see Instagram now from Facebook, WhatsApp from Facebook, and it's now more pronounced. Funny thing, Jack over at Twitter, CEO over at Twitter, wrote a tweet saying, Twitter from Twitter. I'll have to link to it. I don't know if it worked out from an audio standpoint, but this is dumb.
Why?
Well, are you actually asking that question or no?
Why not just do it quietly? Like what? You're changing the capitalization. Why does it need a press release?
Well, the actual reason why they're doing it is because they're kind of being forced to from a monopoly standpoint with all the scrutiny that's going on from politicians, customer advocates, and everything like that. They're trying to make sure people know exactly what they're using and not trying to hide the fact that they bought Instagram or not trying to hide the fact they bought WhatsApp or Oculus or anything like that.
And capitalizing it makes it...
That's dumb.
Yeah.
But I think they're just trying to say, hey, it's from Facebook. They should have came up with something else like Alphabet, like Google has. Mm-hmm. That would make way more sense. But, I mean, hey, it's from Facebook.
Library.
All right. Next up, we've got news from Adobe and Twitter and the New York Times. They're designing a system for permanently attaching artists' names to pictures.
That's cool.
It's really cool. It's really cool. I don't know if it's actually going to work.
I hope it does.
Because I feel like it actually can't work. And I'll tell you why in a minute.
Okay.
But they've announced an attribution tool as a piece of metadata that can be attached to a file that somebody creates. They didn't describe precisely how it will keep things secure or prevent somebody from copying content without stripping it out. But if you make something, you will have this metadata attached to the image, so you can say, yep, that's original content. You can also just still just screenshot something.
I was going to say that. I thought that was a little too like low tech for you to think of, but yes.
But the thing is, you can't just screenshot something and then say it's real. So that's what the getting is.
Because
like,
it'll get crappy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do we get rid of deep fakes? And so if you're somebody that's super into deep fakes, you're going to start doing deep fakes.
Ooh.
Yeah, start getting into some metadata faking. But from a validity standpoint, that makes a lot of sense to say, nope, I can see this. This wasn't taken by this photographer. Here's the original picture, and they're the owner. This is incorrect. It's actually really, really helpful. All right, next up, TikTok is said to be under national security review. Chuck Schumer, Democrat here in New York, and the Senate Minority Leader said that the security review was a validation of our concern that apps like TikTok that store massive amounts of personal data accessible to foreign governments may pose serious risks to millions of Americans. So they're looking into the fact of where is this data going, what's it being used for, and is it being censored? I love that a company might have bought in to TikTok, and the information that they're getting is that Jif Palm the dog learned how to ride a skateboard.
I thought
or like
Jif Palm, may he rest in peace. Didn't he die? I think he did.
I don't have that information. I'll have to go overseas to find it. Or like you bought this data and you're finding out what Lauren Gray was for Halloween. Like, this is what they're getting. It doesn't seem that riveting.
I don't know what you're gonna do with that.
All right, and last up comes from show favorite John Henshaw, who was out at the Webmaster Conference at Google, and he reports back that emojis may have text-based synonym meanings and can be used in links to convey meaning. So if you link to somebody with an emoji, Google may know what you're talking about. So I'm going to just put this out there because I know that Google now listens to podcasts. Ahref equals, quote, marketing clock, quote, megaphone emoji, closing A tag.
So you want to be loud?
I don't know exactly what it means, but according to John, Google knows.
I would like to be the cartwheel.
Okay. We're going to have to link over to you. We'll link over to your business Twitter when we do, and we'll use the cartwheel emoji, and Google will know what that means.
And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
So, Shep, what's been happening with your accounts lately?
I have a really simple one, but annoying. You cannot add locations by DMA region in Ad Editor, as far as I can tell. Like, I tried to search New York City DMA region, and it's nowhere. But I can copy and paste it from a campaign I added it to online. It's very annoying. I also discovered that you can target airports.
That's creepy.
Did you know that? And I tried to find like if there's anything else like a hotel or anything, but it seemed like it was just airports.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I can think of a few people that would work with.
And neighborhoods. I had never seen that before either.
Okay. On my accounts, I've got something that I'm hoping will work really hard for me. In my accounts, in my analytics, and a client actually found this, which I'm a little bit bummed about. I didn't see it before they did. We've got attribution in Google Analytics. It was announced back in 2017, and it seems like it's Google attribution now worked right in to analytics.
But it's not everywhere, right?
It's not everywhere. I had opted into the beta a long time ago, back in 2017, so that might be why I'm seeing it. But if you go into your accounts, go over and check in the left-hand rail all the way at the bottom. If you see something called attribution, you can pull in different accounts, and then it takes 72 hours to get conversion data and attribution data, I guess. But I was super pumped. I've been whining about this for years, literally years now, and it's here.
Now it's time for this week's WTH.
Misguided.
You're like, who does that?
Just get rid of it. I'm over it.
Where we rant, rave, and roll our eyes about a trending digital marketing topic.
What are we coming to
Honestly.
See what had us asking
WTH.
this week.
This week's WTH comes from the New York Times, and they have an article called Sandra Bullock and Ellen DeGeneres Sue Pop-Up Websites Over Misleading Ads. First off, that's a misleading title. It's not pop-up websites over the misleading ads, is it?
No, it's like the advertising.
It's the ads. Yeah, it's scummy advertisers. Anyway, they talk about a common trick about setting up fake news sites where scammers put these fake ads up, but real images of the celebrities. And so an example was in the lawsuit, I guess, Sandra Bullock was appearing on the Today Show, something you're familiar with. Mm-hmm. How's Al doing?
Al's great. They actually talked about this story on the Today Show today.
Whoa.
They made it about themselves as usual. I'll get there when you get to that part.
Okay. So then they say, oh, Sandra Bullock talks about her new skincare line. She never had one. And they link over and they try to sell some sort of skin products. From the article, ad says, Sandra even admitted that plastic surgeons are furious with her after noticing a large decline in patients. Can you imagine that? You're like, oh my gosh. I don't have
Click
enough
on
patients. You know who I'm going to blame? Not me and my skills and my Google rating and my marketing. No, I'm going to go blame Sandra. What a weird claim to put somewhere. Like, who would believe that?
The headline is, nobody ever thought this is how it would end for Sandra.
That's the best.
We're going
to put this in the show notes. The title of the ad is Sandra Bullock is gone. She'll be missed by fans.
Because she made it in skincare. Is that?
I don't know.
I wish I could click on the ad. And
I know. I was like scouring the internet for this ad.
It's amazing. Well, apparently this happened to Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show too.
Oh, really?
So she's just making it all about herself, you know.
But again, this ad is Sandra Bullock is gone. She'll be missed by the fans. WTH are you going to sell with that?
It's
What are you
nothing
gonna
to do
sell?
with skincare.
Like a life insurance? Like that would make sense if it wasn't skincare. And you're like, hey, come on over, get some term life.
And that picture of Ellen looks so fake. Like she has never sat in that room.
No.
She looks like she's on a soap opera or something.
Yeah, and it's not a face of somebody. trying to showcase their skin product.
No.
It's an inquisitive face of being interviewed.
I
You
hope we
tell
can
that's
get rid
fake.
of this.
Yeah,
This made me think about like TV commercials when there's a celebrity voice on it, but they don't say who it is, and you're like not sure it's a celebrity voice, but they must be paying a ton of money. Like, why do they do that?
I always try to guess the celebrity in any of those kid shows where they're animated. It's really hard. Next time you watch it, try
How
it.
do you know if it's a celebrity?
They're usually celebrities.
Okay. I'll
So
give it a try.
That's how you know.
And now for this week's.
Cool tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners. And is really, really cool.
This week's cool tool is Aori. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's Aori, and it's a search campaign builder for Google and Microsoft ads, specifically focused on stags and skags.
That sounds like a country band. What are you doing tonight? I'm going to check out Stags and Skags.
So if you're not familiar with these fun acronyms, stags is single theme ad group, which I feel like should be every ad group.
And the lead singer.
Yeah. And then skags, his ragtag brother on bass guitar, is
Single keyword ad group.
yes. So this is actually a really awesome tool, and you can create large campaigns in less than 10 minutes, it says on the website, with a skag builder and long tail keyword generator. There's a theme builder for campaign structure and an ad builder tool with templates, and you can just add your keywords right into the templates. And after you've reviewed your campaign, you can download it to a CSV for free, or for the paid plan, you can also sync it up right with your Google and Microsoft account and import it into the platform. So for a company who doesn't have an agency they're working with, or short staff on the marketing side and don't have a lot of experience with paid advertising online, this is a really great option. Build your campaigns easily, and you can monitor them through the platform as well.
And also disclaimer, test.
Yeah. Always.
With closed variants, those Skags might not be working as well as they used to.
Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
And today's must-read marketing article of the week comes from Rand Fishkin and Maz, but Rand Fishkin of SparkToro. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that the man works hard. He is now back with a free 6-part video series on SEO fundamentals. This shop is like a whiteboard Friday on steroids. Lots of them. And it breaks down the following sections for you for free in under an hour, obviously, due to the name. SEO strategy, keyword research, searcher satisfaction, on-page optimization, technical SEO, link building, and you can get it all in an hour. And you're not going to be a pro, but it's a very good fundamentals course that Rand put together. And a side note, even if you don't need the course, Rand used to be known for his yellow shoes and then being the Super Bowl proposal guy. And then for that mustache, his haircut, phenomenal.
It's wild.
I could never rock that.
I've never seen it before. It must be the Rand.
Could you imagine if I don't have nearly that moxie to rock that cut?
I can't imagine.
It's nice. It goes all the way down the back. So check it out. Even if you're an SEO pro, I think you'll really enjoy it. Thank you, Rand.
All right, that does it for today's show.
Thank you to t-shirt.searchenginejournal.com. If you want to look awesome while you're working awesome, they've got punk rock, metal, old school video game, like some 80s, like Tron. Anything you want to do with SEO shirt, they've got it. They've got you covered.
And if you're looking for another great podcast, check out the Search Engine Journal Show.
And this week, it's Ask an SEO Pro, and I believe it's Julie Joyce about links and her journey. So I'm sure that is going to be fantastic. Don't miss it. That's now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Remember, you can catch everything from today's show on marketingoclock.com. While you're there, please be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode.
And we will see you next week.